This is going to be my sixth think piece for my independent study of World War II, and it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be in video format here, and it's going to be over a video game called Hell Let Loose that I have been playing recently. Now, Hell Let Loose is a multiplayer first-person shooter game developed by Black Matter Studios and published by Team 17, and it was released for Microsoft Windows on June the 6th, 2019. There are plans to release it on the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, and is set to be fully released in 2021 at some point. And obviously the game is set during World War II, otherwise I would not be talking about it here today. And the game does run on the Unreal Engine 4, which is a very, very nice engine, makes everything look nice, pretty, and amazing. Now, my computer, I have a 2080 Super graphics card, which is very good, 16 gigabytes of RAM. I have a lot of really good components, and when I try to record this game, it can be hard sometimes on the machine itself. It doesn't like to record it in 60 frames per second, which isn't the worst thing, but I prefer to record in 60 frames per second because otherwise it can look choppy at some points and it's not as easy on the eyes. So as far as the game goes, it is a 50v50 game where 50 people are on the United States side, 50 people are on the German side, and on each team there can be up to 6 people on a squad, but there are 3 different types of squads. You have armor squads and recon squads. Armor squads can only have 3 people, while the recon squads can have 2, and then the infantry squads can have up to 6. And then with the infantry squad, there's things like there's obviously the officer, who is going to be the squad lead. There is the rifleman, automatic rifleman, medic, support, things like that, and then obviously, there in the armor, there's the, I believe it's tank commander in the game. I don't play armor a lot. I think I've played it once, and I was a crewman. And then obviously the recon is the last one, where there is the spotter who acts as a squad lead, and the sniper. And one of the biggest things about the game is communication. So you have squad chat where you can talk with the people within your squad, and then you also have team chat or proximity chat where you can talk to people close to you, and that's kind of where the fun in the game is. But if you're a squad lead, you can also talk to all the other squad leaders to come up with strategic plans to figure out where you guys want to go attack next. And then there's the commander, who is over everybody and kind of watches things, spawns things in, like tanks and things like that, and other vehicles. And the squad leads pretty much talk to him or her about what needs to be going on. Now there are 2 game modes in the game: warfare and offensive. And in warfare, the game is won by either controlling all sectors at a given point in time or by controlling a majority of them when the timer runs out. And in offensive, a defending team is in control of all sectors at the beginning of the match, and the objective for the opposing team is then for them to capture all the other sectors before the time runs out. Now back to the communication part. You can find some really funny people in this game. Some people, treat it like an actual, like they're actually in these battles, which is fine and dandy. More power to them. It's supposed to be a very immersive game, and it is. But then you also have the people who, they're playing for fun. I'm one of those people who likes to play for fun. I do like to be immersed, but I'm not going to sit there and, do some of the things that I see in the game. People, taking it a little too seriously. But that's where the communication comes in. Just the team chats and the proximity chats. You can hear other squads talking to each other if you're within a distance and they're not talking in their squad chat, which can be fun, and you guys can kind of bounce things off of one another. And then there is text chat too, where you can talk to everyone in the game, including the enemies, and then as well as just your team. That's fun. I don't really use the text chat a lot because it takes time away, and you have to take your hands off the keys that you're really using to fight and to get to your next objective. There are a lot of maps in this game that are they are when I say they're beautiful, they are beautiful. The team that developed this game did a very good job. When they were designing the maps, they used satellite imagery, archival aerial photography, and even did street level recreations of the areas. And from their Kickstarter page, I found that they said that the map for Sainte Marie du Mont is a 1-to-1 scale battlefield recreated from those things. And that map, you're going through tight streets. There's buildings everywhere. You can't go into every building. There are some buildings that you can't go into, but it feels like you're actually in an urban war, and that is one of the coolest things to me. It feels real, and that real feeling really does come from the sound design. The sound design is amazing. You can hear when shots are going past you, and when you are being shot at. The screen kind of goes blurry to show that you're being suppressed, and obviously your character can't focus on aiming down. Like, you can still aim down your sights, but you're not going to be as accurate, obviously, because of that. And at points there are bombing runs that can be called in, and those things are chaotic. You can hear the planes as they're coming above you, and they drop those bombs, and if you're close to it, you hear it, and you can feel it in your chest. That's for sure. And then, as well as with the tanks, I know I mentioned I haven't really played them before, but you can hear them coming from quite a distance. You can hear the treads, going, and you can definitely hear the cannon from quite a ways away. And that's one of my favorite things about this game, is just the immersion of it and the sound design. It's great. It makes you feel like you are there to an extent. Obviously, there's nothing that can compare to it, especially on the Omaha Beach map. If you're on the American side, obviously you are storming the beach, and that map is chaotic, to say the least. Now, if you're on the German side, it's still chaotic, but you're pretty much just defending that beachhead for a good portion of the game. And if you stop them from taking the beachhead within that time limit, man, you have it made, and it's a fun time. And on that map, on the Omaha Beach map, when I'm on the German side, I like playing as a sniper, because you can just kind of sit there. You have your spotter next to you, and he's pinging where enemies are, and you can just take people out left and right. And another thing, going back to sound design, seems to be my theme here, is when you shoot someone in the head, you hear that the like ping of the bullet hitting the helmet. And it doesn't really matter how far away you are. It's just to indicate that you got a headshot, but I really like that. And also, the weapons in the game are fairly accurate. On the American side, you have things like the M1A1, you have the M1 Garand, as well as the Thompson submachine gun, and the 1911. I don't think, and then you have the 1919 as well, and I think that is it for the American side. And there might be another one in there that I'm missing. There probably is. And then as far as the German side, you have obviously the Kar 98K is the main service weapon. You have the Gewehr 43, the STG 44, the MP 40, the MG 42, and you have the Walther P38 and the Luger as well for pistols. And all of them sound fantastic. And they have each of them has their own specific oomph of it. And with the machine guns, like the 1919 and I forgot about the BAR, the Browning automatic rifle is in there as well. How can I forget that? Because that's one of my favorite guns to use in the game. But like the automatic weapons, they have quite a bit of recoil, which is somewhat accurate. Especially with the big, with like the MG42 and the 1919. If you're not sat down in a specific position, that thing is going straight up, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. But yeah, it's the weapon design is very good. It's extremely accurate as well. Another thing that I really really enjoy about the game is the limited heads up display. So when you spawn in, it tells you like what kind of weapon you have. And that's really it. You don't know how much ammo you have in your magazine until you run out. So you could be sitting there firing. Oh no, I'm out. And it can be either life or death in that situation. And that's one of my favorite things about the game as well, is just how without that HUD, you do feel more immersed. You feel like you're in the action a little bit better. And then along with that, the map system is pretty good. You hit M to look at your map, and it brings up it has a grid style map. So you have A through G or F, or I believe, and then obviously 1 through the corresponding numbers in the alphabet. And each section obviously has something. In most of the game modes, you're just trying to take certain points within the sectors. And your team can lay down spawn points, so that way you don't have to spawn all the way back at base when you die, which is nice because it takes forever getting anywhere, just like it would in real war. It's not a walk in the park. Well, it feels like a walk in the park because you're walking for so dang long. But you can get into things like transport vehicles to speed it up, but that's only if your commander spawns them in for you at the beginning of the game. There's something else I was going to talk about in this video. I guess my main thing is this game does a good job of capturing the feeling of World War II in a video game. It's definitely one of the better ones that I've played. It's definitely one of the more realistic ones, as far as, not really tactics, but as far as graphics go and just the way things look and feel. You get the sense of what these people might have actually gone through without going through it yourself. Not saying that it's a one-to-one comparison, because nothing is. But I think it does do a very, very good job of capturing emotion and kind of that feeling of these people. But with nothing else to really say, this game is fantastic. Check it out if you guys haven't. It's a fun time, and I hope they continue to add more content. I believe there's a rumor that they're going to be adding planes at some point, as well as other factions. I kind of hope they add the British and the Russians. The French would be kind of cool too. Have like French resistance fighting alongside the Americans, or something along those lines. That would be pretty cool. I would also like to see them add more maps, maybe things in the Eastern Front of the war, as well as maybe maybe in Germany, like the fall of Berlin or things like that. But I just hope that they keep adding onto this game, because it definitely has my attention and it definitely has my interest, and I really hope that they keep adding to it. So without further ado, this has been my 6th think piece for my World War II independent study, and I hope you enjoyed it.